Let's talk for real. What's going on out here? A lot of issues, a lot of things going on. As human beings, we at war. Black men definitely at war. But human beings absolutely at war. We have white supremacists, we have ignorance, we have oppression, nonstop around us, going on nonstop. They pushing this agenda on us of homosexuality, calling us phobic or cis or whatever name they want to call us, because we don't support the lifestyle or the way people are living. We don't encourage that they get hurt or anything like that. But we're saying, listen, we don't want no parts of that. We don't want to teach our kids that. And then, it's just frustrating listening to Candace Owens a lot of times, Whitlock, Dr. Umar. These people come with all these nonsense arguments. Juneteenth. What is Juneteenth? You really believe so-called slaves were emancipated and things are so better? People who were racist, you think the whole nation just changed in one day? Seriously? Are you really being honest? Truthful? You think racism just ended in one day when people were so-called emancipated? So-called slaves were so-called emancipated. Black people were so-called emancipated for the benefit of people who had the power and the authority. And when they was freed, so-called freed, what they never was freed, they were forced into labor. They didn't own nothing. When they were so-called free, they was slaves. So they coming from the backbone of the end, not being given no 40 acres or a mule, not given anything to be even prosperous other than you can still work for us and we'll give you what we think you should have, give you what we want to give you. Civil rights movement was in the 60s. Mass incarceration. Immigrants coming from everywhere. They want to be the new slaves. They want to be obedient to master and love master. America is so great. America has been blessed. But America's not being great and not doing great things. They're not being fair and just. The justice system is corrupt. Donald Trump been indicted. He's the only one that should be indicted? If Donald Trump could be indicted, you think he's the only one that should be indicted? Because so-called Democrats don't like him, or these so-called woke people don't accept him or don't respect him. Obama made gay marriage legal. Universal health care. Okay, I ain't against that. Welfare lowers whatever. During the pandemic, they gave them $95 and it was a year later. Price of food is up. Price of everything is up. Welfare benefits don't go up. SSI benefits usually go up every year, but they ain't giving them enough to live decently, properly. The government knows the price of food and everything that's going on. They're not oblivious. And you say, oh, black people on welfare. They welfare babies. The mothers are welfare babies. Listen, you give people the minimum, and then on top of it, who own these businesses? Who are the landlords that own these properties that are renting out to these so-called black people in their black neighborhoods, in their black communities? It's not black landlords abundantly in these black neighborhoods, in these black communities, unless these communities are decimated. But other than that, there's no black landlords like that in New York City. There's no black landlords like that in D.C., California. You go on and on and on. So when the government is giving these Section 8 vouchers or paying people's rent, they're giving it to their own people, their own network. They got to go to these same people who stockholders supermarket and buy food. They control the food. They control transportation. They control whether it be clean air or clean water. They control everything. A lot of people don't own no diamond mines in America, no oil fields. And when we want to pursue something or have passion in something or our own pursuit of happiness, it's considered illegal. I want y'all to get that. Whatever the black man, especially the black man, seeks out or wants to do is illegal. As soon as the white man can control that market and exploit them, whether it's hip hop, whether it's so-called selling weed, or whatever they want to do, I don't care. Vending on the streets. They got to get a license, be regulated, and they got to be authorized by their same oppressor. They call black people terrorists when they boycotted the bus system. They call them terrorists. I want you to understand that. They were the terrorists, not the racist white people who prevented them from being human and decent and respectful. No, they call these black people terrorists. Whenever the black men try to do something and the black people try to do something for their people, for their community, they deem the enemy a target. They killed Malcolm X, they killed Martin Luther King, and they'll continue killing people. Black people don't have a voice. And when we so-called have a voice, it's because a white person took the time to stand out there and say something. But only that person, or a couple hundreds, or a couple thousands. So like 200 million white people in America. And it's a lot more around the globe. It's racism going on out here. Caste system, oppression, capitalism, all about money. Not to be thinking about giving back to those who helped them become rich and billionaires and ultra trillionaires. You'll never see them go at the bottom saying, hey, I'm going to make you a millionaire, you a millionaire, you a millionaire, you a millionaire. I'm going to buy you a house too and a car, and I'm going to put all your kids through college. You'll never see that. Why we don't see that? And we'll probably start seeing stuff like that because people are going to start manipulating. But plus, it's been prophesied. There's going to come a time when you can't give charity because everybody will have wealth. Bitcoin's a scam. Cryptocurrency's a scam. What do you think they're doing? They're trying to lock down, control the currency so they can just push a button and shut your money off so they can track every dime that you get. And it's not the rich dime they're tracking. They're tracking the people that's down or low at the bottom trying to make a way up and open doors for people who are down low and struggling and being oppressed. Brothers and sisters, you have to wake up. Black man is a target in America, target in the world, especially the African American, because we can't go nowhere, and we know this oppressor better than anybody. We're surviving it and living through it. This won't be like this forever. Trust and believe. But they're going to try to make it like this forever. But God is real. The Creator is real. And this world is for the unjust. The just people are here, and we're going to call them and invite them and encourage them. And then God's going to question them. Didn't they ask you? Or didn't they say to you? Didn't they try to show you? Didn't they ask you to stop? And you kept oppressing them and taking advantage of them and hurting them? Change Incorporated. Cash App 1 Change 23. Support people. Support my channel. It's the Love Podcast Network. Support us. Help us out. Let's get the word out. Subscribe so I can go live. So I can start being monetized. So I can actually show you what we're supposed to do when we're earning money and developing money and gaining money. There's no telling where our government is going. And the ultra wealthy, the people that's in power, they're not going to be there when the bombs drop, when the planes come and hit stuff. You know who's going to be there? Us regular people. And if we keep accepting this and allowing this, we're going to be damaged. Our children are going to be damaged. They so-called let the slaves free to so-called work with a little bit of money so they could act like they were civilized, but it was still slavery. And they told them if they didn't work, they would be arrested, put in jail, and then work for nothing. Mass incarceration. Now weed is legal. But when the black people wanted to make weed legal, it was illegal. It's a place that drugs is legal. The doctors give you fentanyl in the hospital. It's illegal for the streets. It should be regulated course. But what should it be illegal for a person? I think it should be illegal. I think all this stuff should be illegal. But the reality is, these people are oppressing us. White man, whatever you want to do is legal. As long as you work in that frame and behind that door with your people, y'all know what's going on. Y'all know what's said behind the closed doors. Y'all know what's being done. And y'all not speaking out or doing anything about it or coming to us letting us know. And then the coons or the sellouts who want to speak against us, just like they speak against Ja Morant because he had a legal gun. Talking about it's not the image of the NBA. What he doing in his private time is what he do. His life is not underneath slave contract and rule and dictatorship because he plays basketball in the NBA. If he wants to be a role model, he'll be a role model. Maybe he needs role models. It's like the NBA owners need role models and someone to show them stop being oppressive and stop trying to dictate, because you're not giving all that money that you're making to the players or the fans. So just knock it off. God bless.